Hi there lovelies, I'm Rhonda Crimes. I'm a life and leadership coach supporting everyday people just like you to reflect and rework your everyday stories so you can step into the everyday leadership of your families and communities and create compelling, meaningful and fruitful lives every day. I'm really excited to be back sharing this guidepost in my vlog edition from Brené Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection. As you'd know by now, I've been breaking up the book into bite-sized pieces with shorter videos so you can watch or listen to it on the fly instead of having to find loads of extra time. But as I'll always keep saying, I still reckon having a copy in your own hands is definitely the way to go. Anyway, today let's talk about the gifts of imperfection, cultivating creativity. Well, here we are at the 6th of the 10 guideposts, past the halfway point. We can now really see how they all overlay and interconnect with each other. Together, these seemingly single threads weave together to form a beautiful, tightly woven piece of fabric. Let's get on with guidepost number 6, cultivating creativity, letting go of comparison. When you think of creativity, what comes up first? Is it all, yep, I'm all in? Or more like, are you kidding? I'm not creative. And then I wonder, what's behind your response? If you, like so many people I've spoken with, tell me they just aren't creative, I reckon it's because of one or two things, or maybe a combination of the two. The first one is that they had the confidence knocked out of them, probably around early childhood, because their creativity work didn't meet the expected outcome. This could have been in the form of a parent, sibling, friend or a teacher making a criticism or laughing and thereby linking their creativity ability to a shaming experience. And so then they self-protected and never practiced again. It's funny how when we're really small, everything we do is a miracle and to be celebrated. We burp or fart for the first time and we attain legend status. We talk and walk and learn to put the red Duplo block on top of the blue Duplo block. And we are so clever. Then we draw a picture of Mummy at kindy and everyone says, oh my God, we have a budding Rembrandt in our midst. And then as we get older, we start to become more aware of acceptance and approval and fitting in, getting it right. And our critics begin to set higher expectations. That burp, just not funny anymore. Suddenly, we're expected to follow the intricate plans to build a Lego starfighter. We need to become engineers, and for many, the cost is too high when it doesn't turn out right. We're launched on the accomplishment and acquisition track, and creativity gives way to that stifling combination of fitting in and being better than, also known as comparison. Brené shares how comparison is about conformity and competition. And while on the surface it seems like they are mutually exclusive, but they're actually not. When we compare, we want to see who or what is best out of a specific collection of alike things. Now we do this with our friends, or on the playing fields with our team, or we do it at school within our own year level. We generally are not competing or comparing outside of our scope. So we don't really compare our homes to the rich and famous, but we certainly do to those in our own neighbourhoods. Who has the best looking lawn or garden beds? And ooh, that place must be a rental, and obviously their tenants are not as good as mine. It's all the little things. It doesn't have to be big stuff. The second thing I find with people who proclaim that they are not creative is that they see it as a waste of time. They need to spend every moment on the real work and of achieving and accomplishing stuff. They don't have time for the frilly and frothy arty-farty stuff. You know, Brené found herself leaning into this camp, and she said, by the time I was 40, my lack of interest in creativity had turned to disdain. I came to a point where I thought of creating for the sake of creating as self-indulgent at best and flaky at worst. Another aspect of my life is scrapbooking. I've been doing it and teaching it since 2001, and what I've found is that people who get in and really embrace the creativity always have greater connection and a sense of belonging than those who deny their creativity or hold back or decline completely. It's funny, as I was reading, Brené wrote how after taking up photography, she can now see beauty and potential everywhere. And I know exactly what she means. I see scrapbooking layouts everywhere. I take photos differently, and I focus in on what is the most important bit for me to recall from that photo. I journal with greater intention, telling the stories and the backstories, and also the, oh, this reminds me of stories. All these are amazing tools of connection and provide me with a deep sense of love and belonging. Through my creativity, I don't feel the need to fit in. I just have a knowing of where I belong. Brené sums up that what she's learned about creativity from the world of wholehearted living and loving is, number one, I'm not creative doesn't work. There is no such thing as creative and non-creative people. There are only people who use their creativity and people who don't. Number two, the only unique contribution that we will ever make in this world will be born of our creativity. Number three, if we want to make meaning, we need to make art. Cook, write, draw, doodle, paint, scrapbook, take pictures, collage, knit, rebuild engines, sculpt, dance, decorate, act, sing. It doesn't matter. As long as we are creating, we're cultivating meaning. The other thing Brené writes is we can't put letting go of comparison on our to-do list. Like so many other things that we've spoken about on this The Gifts of Imperfection journey, it's an intentional practice. But we can put being creative on our daily, weekly or monthly to-do lists. I love this quote from the book. Creativity, which is the expression of our originality, helps us stay mindful that what we bring to the world is completely original and cannot be compared. Again, using my scrapbooking experience, a trap people fall into is thinking they have to be the originator, or somehow they're a fraud or a failure. Not true. Even if you copy someone else's idea, you will have used, in the scrapbooking example, different papers and photos, and you will have told a different story. And from there, you gain the confidence to do a tweak here and there, and then maybe progress to coming up with your own ideas. Without comparison, concepts like ahead and behind, or best and worst, lose their meaning. So let's take a look at this Guidepost's Digging Deep section, where D is for getting deliberate in your thoughts and behaviours through prayer, meditation, or simply setting your intentions. I is for getting inspired to make new and different choices. G is for getting going or taking action. And remember that digging deep isn't about pushing through in the old way. Rather, it's finding a more healing way with good grace, intention, and thoughtfulness. So, Brené says her D is to decide that creativity is not a luxury or something we do when we have spare time. She carves out time to take and process photos, make movies, and do art projects with her kids. Her I is through her friendships with other creators that she's met and connects with. She says it's so important to find and be part of a community of like-spirited people who share your beliefs about creativity. And her G is to take a class. Risk feeling vulnerable and new and imperfect and just take a class. Go online or visit your local craft shop. Try something that scares you or something you've always dreamt of trying. You just never know where you'll find your creative inspiration. Now, if I know anything, it's this. When we get vulnerable and try new things, we can look for affirmation or approval from others. And oftentimes, they have no knowledge or understanding of the creative process that you've gone through. So once again, you need to be selective in who you share your story with. So I urge you to use the A4 handout that I created for you with the 8 tips from the Gifts of Imperfection to guide you in that selection. I know it will help you to steer clear of the wrong person to share your creative stories with, or actually maybe it'll help you be the right person for someone else to share with you. Simply click on the 8 story sharing tips link to get your free copy. Now, I will be back next week to talk about guidepost number 7, cultivating play and rest, letting go of exhaustion as a status symbol, and productivity as self-worth. I just know this one will do some triggering for a lot of you. But as always, my lovelies, if your now is not the picture that you've painted for yourself and you'd like any help on this discovery path, or maybe something completely different that you know or feel isn't letting your true colours shine through, then please do get in touch with me. You can do it really easily. Leave me a comment, send me a private message, drop an email, pop over to my Calendly online diary using the link I've provided, and we can set up an obligation-free curiosity call and see if we're a good fit for each other. Much love till next time.